Well, I had had 40 years in public life and arguably three different professions, music, environment activism, and then entry into politics. And in all of those cases, a lot of what people understand about what you're doing is just gleaned from newspaper articles or grabs on TV or snippets on social media. And a book means that you can actually set a context for your life and explain a little bit about what was happening and why you did the things that you did at the time. And I just felt coming out of the Parliament that it was a natural step for me to try and get it down in writing, and so Big Blue Sky was the result. When I first sat down to figure out how I was going to write the memoir, I did give a bit of thought to whether or not I'd get it all in one book, because I've lived a very public life and I've been busy and I've really thrown myself at things. But eventually my basic raison d'etre was I wanted a book that anybody could pick up and read with lots of yarns in it from my perspective about what I've done, but which affects so many other people. And I don't know that I could face another two books. So it all ended up in one. This is a little bit like the joke, if you can remember the 60s, you weren't actually there. Well, luckily I did have people who I was working with, and in most cases was able to go through and check with them different aspects of what had happened. And I mean, we were a really serious band, you know. I mean, of course we enjoyed ourselves and went out at night and did those things, but we were so focused on trying to survive and stay alive that you do tend to remember that grinding part of it, and it doesn't seem like a grind later on. It seems like a lot of fun. At the time, I'm not sure that it was always fun, but when you look back on it now, you're without care, but with a lot of reach and a lot of passion as to where you want your music to go. So, yeah, the memory's there. Well, I did 3 terms in the Parliament, and I did 2 terms in government, and both times as a cabinet minister with responsibilities and serious ones. And it was a real privilege for me, and I've said it a number of times, but it's absolutely the case. It's a privilege to have that kind of position in public life. But I did feel that once Mr. Rudd decided to challenge again, that I had run my course. I'd done everything I could, and I wasn't interested in staying around with him as the leader of the party. And so I took that moment to go out and do other things. Well, a proud moment is surviving. You know, I think if you survive all of this and you still feel good about life and positive about things, then that's probably something to be a bit proud of. But look, there'd be a few for me. In politics, it would be the successful challenge in the International Court of Justice against Japanese whaling. It was a big call for us to take that on, and I worked very hard to make sure that we got into the court and to win on most of our claims so clearly, and really set in place the opportunity for us to preserve these creatures, not have them hunted down, was a big achievement. I think also in environment, legislating for a resale royalty scheme so that visual artists, particularly Aboriginal painters, would get a little bit of money when their works were resold at much greater prices. A lot of work we did in natural resource management, looking after the Great Barrier Reef. There's plenty there to be proud of, and of course when Julia Gillard was Prime Minister, we legislated the Australian Education Act, and it's a new, fair, needs-based funding system for school education, which people had been talking about for over 50 years, and we got it through the Parliament. So they're amongst the things that I can claim to be proud of, and most of all that I've still got family intact at the end of it all.